Well, welcome everybody. We are chatting today with Rob Sewell from shapeyourfutureonline.com. Rob, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good to see you.
Yes. So Rob is another member of the SFM community, and we're here so that he can tell you what it was like, what happened, and what his life is like now, and hopefully provide you with a little hope if you're unhappy in your current life or job situation. So I guess, Rob, with that as an opening, please tell us what it was like, what the heck happened, and what life is like now.
Where do we start? Hey. So yeah, I mean, I started with this online entrepreneurship about 6 months ago when I joined the SFM. Around about just over a year ago. So I've been working for 10 years as a scientist, cancer research scientist in London. So I did that, did a PhD, all of this. Wanted to do that as a kid. Very unfulfilled, really not happy with that. Trying to find that next step, something outside of me to help me to feel better in life. And I needed, at that time, it was a difficult time. My son had been born. I was living in London alone. His mother was very ill mentally and left. So that was tough. So I needed a bit more flexibility, things like that. Flexible working hours, more money. Yeah, that'll solve my problems. So I went into the corporate world and I went into sales and marketing within the life science industry.
Gotcha.
Knew the customer. I used to be the customer, right? I'm selling to scientists. I'm marketing to scientists. Yeah, it gave me more money, a bit more flexibility at first. You've got all the trappings of the corporate life, the car, the laptop, the phone, flying all over the world. And I really started to understand that there was something deeply spiritually wrong with me, a real spiritual malady in me. I'd always been a bit of a drinker, experimented a bit more than experimented with drugs, in the 90s, in my 20s. And, I'd have these periods of heavy drinking, but then I had work to do, right? I had a career to do. So I'd be, up and down with the drinking and the working, and I was always all in life, But then towards the end, when I got into my 40s, I'm 44 now, 45 this year, something just really, really wasn't right with me, and my drinking got worse. I started to get more heavily into drugs again, cocaine. And just over a year ago, I was in real trouble, and I had to admit to myself and everyone else that I was an alcoholic, and I had a problem with cocaine. So it got really dark. It got really dark. I was probably a few months away from losing my house. I was very, very close to losing my wife and my two lovely children. I have a son, he's nearly 15, my daughter's 11. And just my family intervened. I couldn't help myself. I didn't really know what I was doing. It got that bad. I'd lost my job as well. I was really, really struggling. And so then what happened was I went into a period of recovery, anonymous fellowships, doing a 12-step program. Also an amazing recovery community that I have here in my home city of Sheffield here in the UK. There's a non-profit organisation that I'm involved with, which deals with people with all kinds of substance abuse, alcohol abuse, mental health problems, which I spend a lot of my time doing that at the moment. But yeah, it was just that slowing down of life and starting to look inwards. Really starting to look inwards, looking for answers. In my early 90s, I was really heavily into spirituality and meditation. I have to say, I did mix that a lot with psychedelic drugs as well.
I sure.
Spent 8 months in India meditating in temples and caves and
whoa,
kinds of stuff. Having real proper non-dual experiences and really trying to understand what the true nature of reality is. I was really, really going for that. And, that was one of my downfalls, to be honest with you. I went so crazy that's where a lot of my drinking stemmed from, to be honest with you. Chronic anxiety problems from the age of 21. But yeah, so going back to this period of reflection and, just self-analysis, self-actualization, and, getting back into spiritual practices and not being scared of that anymore. And this is where, I was on YouTube a lot and, looking at a lot of spiritual material, and came across an ad for the SFM, and something drew me to that. And I was in like that. I didn't.
Well, you already said you're an all or nothing kind of guy, right?
100%. That's where a lot of my problems come from as well. But for me, I was getting to that point where I'd taken some time out. I'd lost my job. I'd taken some time out. And, I borrowed some money off my parents and my brother to keep going for 6 or so months, which I did. And then I just thought, right, okay, I'm feeling good now. I'm recovering. I'm doing well. I need to get back into work. But the only thing that I knew to do was, and that would earn me a decent income, was to go back into sales. And I went for a couple of interviews, and I started to be filled with that fear again. And I started to feel unwell again. And I thought, I can't do this again. I can't go back to that life again. It's going to drive me under again. That's what's making me so unhappy. It really, really is. And that's about that time. I'd been for a couple of interviews, and I came across the SFM on the internet. And I just thought this is right. It felt right, right away. So I came in through Strom and Beer.
I kind of came in through them as well.
Right, okay. And I found a Christian, and I had a chat with him, and he gave me 90 minutes of his time on a Sunday, and he was just talking to me through everything that he's been doing over the past 3 years and how it's changed his life. And it just seemed right to me. And the more I looked into it, I could just see that it was right. It was real. And I also, when I started on the first few of those calls, the orientation call, I began to cry, because I realized that I was in the right place, because it was, this was a community of people building online businesses and supporting each other, but it was all so much about self-development. And, the amount of work that I'd already done on myself was incredible. And I just thought, wow, I am going to be able to push this. I can get goosebumps now talking to you about it.
That's awesome.
I am going to be able to push this forward. And so, for me, I decided I had lots of debt, right? I had debt. I had £70,000 worth of debt. How's this possible? I'm earning £80,000 a year. Well, I guess, I've told you my story. You know what my problems were, the lifestyle that I was living. I got myself into real trouble. So I had to sell my house. So I sold my house. I paid off my debt. I just decided, right, I'm going to use this money to really go forward and start to build a real proper...
To start over.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm investing, all my time and effort into this. It's full time for me. I'm doing really well. I'm now, I'm doing affiliate work for SFM, but I'm also now really strongly believing that I want to be a coach. I have to be a coach. Everyone's telling me I have to be a coach.
Well, are you still active in 12-step work?
Absolutely.
So I assume you're going to be sponsoring people and helping them, and so you're coaching already. Yeah.
Correct. That's exactly what I was going to say. you took the words out of my mouth.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. But people, people are telling me this. People are saying, well, you're a leader. You're a leader, and we have this thing in SFM where it's learn, do, and teach. Yeah. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing in a 12-step program. Setting meetings. Bearing my all. Well, when you first go into a meeting, you don't say anything. You're quiet. You're scared. You don't know what's going on. And you listen to people sharing authentically about their lives, about their problems, about how they've got better, and how they're living their life now. And you learn that, and then you start to do. You practice those 12 steps, and you start to do those things, and then you start to teach. You start to lead. You show people the way. And that's exactly the same. I've made some videos about this. you know, it's exactly the same with online business. You know, you learn, you listen to people, you model them, then you start to do these things, you learn for yourself, you put your own twist on it, and then you teach people. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. That's what I'm doing. And I'm really, really excited to start developing coaching business online as well. This is something that's going to come into fruition for me later this year. That's what it's given me. I've been, you know, I've come from a position of being a corporate alcoholic slave, you know, to being a free man, a man who is able to just go forward, do what I want, what I feel inside. I'm a scientist by trade. I've always used this. I thought that this solves everything. And it solves nothing at all. It's all from here. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't normally talk about it, but I went also through the 12 steps in 2005. I used to drink in the morning on my way to work at 6:30 in the morning while driving into work. And like you, I was going to lose my family. And fortunately, I haven't had a drink since 2005. But
excellent.
You know, it opened up that period of self-discovery where spiritual principles became the most important thing. And then running across, you know, the SFM community where it's people like you and me, where everybody wants to be better and everybody wants to change and change their lives. And so it's uplifting to hear that, man. And I appreciate you bearing your soul and being so open and honest.
Yeah. I mean, I could go on all day about it. I love it. I love to speak like this now. You know, I go to several meetings every week. I just love it. And I love to, what I really like is I like when people open up. You know, when people are broken, but then and they don't know a way out, and you can see them time after time after time. Sometimes I've seen people for a year and they don't talk, and then one day it just all comes out, you know, it all comes out, and then they start to heal and they can start to move forward.
You know, I think it's true, you know, with how you said it parallels with online business. I was involved for about 2 years actually, before I really decided to transition fully into online employment. And I didn't ask questions. I didn't participate. I got overwhelmed. I didn't have answers when the community is right there to turn to. And the parallels are pretty nutty.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a little bit quiet at first, but you know, now I've just been on a call today. You know, someone said, has anyone got anything, you know, they want sorting out? I'm like, yes, please have me out. You know, I need your help.
Was that the call this morning with, was it Dan and Alex or was it?
Yeah, it's Dan. It's a new call, actually. It was just Dan. I think there's going to be different people every week, maybe. But yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to make it. Well, so tell me, what have been some of the highlights over the last year or 6 months since you've really transitioned into online self-employment?
I think, you know, for me, it was because I was selling my house at the time. There was that going on. It was kind of slow for me at first, and I'm glad that it was, because it gave me time to learn. You know, because I'm this all or nothing person. I could have really done too much at once and made too many mistakes. Of course, it's good to make mistakes, right? But that bit of time has been really good. And over the past 6 weeks now, it's just gone from nothing to everything. I now have 10 members already in 6 weeks.
That's amazing.
And it's just gone from strength to strength. And I think for me now, the realization is that, you know, I've been able to master things like YouTube ads and things like that, get a message out there. I'm drawing people in, and now I'm really starting to understand that what I need to do now is to offer real value in terms of all the content that I do. You know, so I mean, I've got a YouTube channel. I need to put more into that, but I've just started a private members Facebook group this week. You know, I just want to give and give and give and give.
That's awesome. I just went back through my email series, and I'm thinking, how does this email provide value? You know, and I think that's an amazing way to look at it, is how can you help people?
Mm-hmm. And you know, some of the realizations, like you know, my first YouTube ad, for instance, that I ever put out is by far the best. Right? I've done a couple more since then, and even though the message is kind of the same, it's almost the same. There's just a few tweaks here and there. And then the last one, I really tried to script it more. And I had that script in my head and I was going through it and through it and through it. And I could never deliver it properly, could never do it in one go. And I put it out there and it bombed. It was no good because it wasn't authentic. And that's something that I've really, really realized recently. You've got to be 100% authentic. That first ad that I did, I just looked into that camera and I was talking to me 10 years ago. That's what I was doing. And those people that have responded to that can see that, you know. I don't want them to be that person 10 years ago. I don't want them to get to where I've got to. I want them to stop where they are right now and change their life. I do not want them to go through another 10 years.
So what kind of interaction have you had with the 10 people so far who you've referred to the SFM?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, so I mean, again, at first you're just excited. People are coming in. It's like, this is great. And then it's like, okay, you've got to do something here. So for me, yeah, I try and reach out to people. People are still pretty shy, you know. On my website, I drive people to my website. They can book and talk with me. Some people do, some people don't. You know, I like to talk like this on Skype or on some kind of video conference. But now what I'm looking to do is I'm just pushing people to really come out of their skin. This is why I've got the private Facebook group that I've got. But I want to start training people. I want to have a call with someone once a week for the first 6 weeks that they're in here. That's an idea that I got off someone the other day. Just to start to bring them through and start to understand what this is all about.
To help bridge the gap.
Exactly. And some people are very shy, and, you know, even people who are perhaps not that shy, they don't get involved at the beginning. And, you know, you're not going to know what's going on. You're not going to know what the real value of the community and of the SFM is. So, yeah, for me, I think I really want to reach out and just guide people through that process in their initial stages, and then, you know, let them go. And then they want to come back and talk to me, they can. Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in 2 or 3 or 4 years?
I see myself having my own coaching business. So that will be online and also in person, one-to-ones, events, still involved with the SFM, I hope, because I just love it. I can't imagine not being a part of that. I hope that goes on forever. So yeah, in leadership within that community as well, that's already something that I'm talking about with people. So yeah.
And what about, does it shape your family goals at all or anything like that?
It does. I mean, yeah, so I've been married for 11 years and I have 2 children, as I said. It very much does so. I mean, I think for them, especially my son, you know, who I'm very close to, he lives with me, but he's from a previous relationship. You know, I've always looked after him since he was 1.5 years old on my own, or now with my wife. You know, he's seen the best of me and he's seen the worst of me. And I'm really starting now we're starting to understand each other a lot more. Now I have this time, more time freedom. There's financial freedom, but that's not important. It's the time freedom that's important to me. He's really starting to see the best of me, and I'm really starting to understand him. I think that, you know, one of the great things that this whole process is giving me is it's not just about business and it's not about my development. It's about how I interact with other people as well. And the relationships that I'm having at the moment are incredible. I've just actually managed to heal a bit of a fractious relationship with my mother, which has been going on since I was 14 years old. And I've completely transformed that by some of the work that I've been doing. And that's through people that I've met in the SFM. So I know, you know, Satori Prime and Jaya Lan. I'm being coached by them at the moment, and they've just changed my life. and if I hadn't come to SFM, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, you know, I was lucky enough to get about a half hour of Alon's time, and we got to have a video conversation like this a few weeks ago.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's all come from going through all this process of going online. You meet incredible people.
Well, but it seems like it's
you go out and reach out to them. You can reach out to people and get involved with people and partner with people and whatever, you know, get on people's podcasts, people's calls like this. This is what it's all about. It's all about mixing with people, getting a great message out there, helping people, inspiring people. I just love it.
So have you been to any of the gold, platinum, or black retreats or anything like that yet?
Soon. So platinum for me is in about 3 weeks. So it's at the end of August.
But you get to go?
Yeah, I'm on holiday next week in Greece.
I'm so envious.
That's going to be great. It's a shame we didn't do this call next week. I could have done it by the pool for you. But yeah, so platinum for me is in Toronto. There's a couple of people that I've met as well online who are going to be there, which is really exciting for me. So I'm going to be connecting with them. I'm really interested. I'm really excited about that.
I can see why.
I know that I'm going to be challenged there, and people are going to get under my skin and really get me to bare my soul. Well, that's my forte. I love it. Bring it on.
Yeah, I agree. Real conversation with real people is the way to go.
I'm just really looking forward to that, and some great people that are going there. So I'm looking forward to that. And then gold is in September. Yeah,
I have to miss both of those, and they're not far from me.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the black retreat this year is all booked up, and I can't get in. But you know what? I think it might be good if I wait until I think it's going to be March next year. Probably Dominican Republic. I will go to that. That will just be perfect for me.
Yeah, I've seen how people
going great. It's just perfect.
That's awesome. I've seen how people who are strangers, or they are only connected online, and then I've seen footage from the retreats and the events after the fact, and real relationships are formed, and people have lifelong friendships, and they figure out who they are and help build businesses together. It's really an amazing thing. Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I definitely want some partnership with people, and make some new friends.
Nice.
And from the past, I've got rid of so many friends that are no good for me. I'm just forging new relationships all the time. That's something that I never did before. You think you've got your set of friends and that's it. Maybe you meet one or two people here and there in life through work. But I'm open to all kinds of relationships with people now, really am. I think that's a great thing that's happening for me as well.
Dude, I'm so happy for you that life has become so great.
Yeah. It's incredible. Why didn't I do this before? That's the only thing I keep saying to myself.
Yeah, but I think, we're all taught to, in school, you follow the leader, you put your nose down, you do the work, and then you work for somebody else. And that's just how it is. And you work hard for years and years and years up the corporate ladder to hopefully one day retire, and you saved enough money, and then you live frugally in retirement so you don't spend all of your nest egg too soon. And I mean, that's just the program that we're all given,
Yeah. And you're just squeezed into this little box that you've got to live in, There are no boxes now. There are no boxes. It's just a big, expansive space that I can move into.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, tell the people who see this conversation how they can learn more about you, where they can go.
Yes.
Well, I mean, tell them your website is what I'm saying, right?
Sorry, I didn't see you were framing that as a question. Sorry. So it's shapeyourfutureonline.com. I have my YouTube site, Instagram, Facebook, all the same as well. Shape Your Future Online. So it is, it's just really trying to empower people to understand that there's a different way of life and to start online. But of course, that for me is going to branch out more. Whether it stays within that brand, or maybe I'll create a brand around my name. I don't know. Regarding my coaching, we'll see. That's
the sky is the limit.
And incubators for this platinum retreat that I'm going to be doing at the end of this month. So.
Nice. Well, again, Rob, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll cross paths much sooner as opposed to later. I know I see you on Facebook daily, so
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll chat soon. Okay?
Mm.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.